14 hours on this interstate. We rode all night and now it's breaking day. Could use a little sleep, but we must go on. Gotta do a show tonight in San Antonio. And a million miles away, she waits for me. Living day by day with all her hopes and dreams. And if I'm gonna win, why do I have to lose? Well, it's all that I can do to be a song away from you. This motel room don't seem like home, and love just ain't the same on a cell phone. Tonight there's another place I wish I could be. In those arms reaching out for me. But the music pulls me through another lonely night. But what about the ones I leave behind each time? Maybe I'm a fool, that it's a life I choose, but it's tearing me in two to be a song away from you. The life I leave behind seems so far away. As time passes me by, it's the price we pay. This road goes on and on, it never ends too soon. And it's all that I can do to be a song away from you. A song away from you.
MeTV 24 Meridian proudly presents your favorite way to start the day. Welcome to Mornings with Scotty Ray and Candace. Okay, maybe I'm having a senior moment, but I have really had a tough time this week figuring out what day of the week it is.
Really?
I'm convinced it's Thursday now, but I have been behind on, you know how you have like a little deadline, you have to do this by this day, and I've missed like 3. So, oops.
Well, I know there was like a couple of weeks where it just seemed like Friday. I was like, is today Friday? Is today Friday? You know, but anyway.
My mother always goes, it's Sunday, I'm going to church, right? I'm like, no, today's Tuesday.
Well, I know that this week I've kind of been on schedule knowing what day it is just because I know we've got a tournament this weekend. I've been counting down the days. But, you know, it's so funny. Did you ever, like, try to get out of going to school, Scotty Ray?
Well,
Like, did you say I'm sick and you really wasn't sick?
up until 6th grade, when I got in 7th grade, Lauderdale County come up with this neat little thing to where if you went every day to school, you didn't have to take exams. So from 7th grade through my senior year, I never missed a day of school because I didn't want to take tests.
Oh, okay.
So I didn't miss nothing after that because I wasn't the smartest when it come to books. I was not like my sister and all those other people that could glance at it. I had to study. So getting out of a test, I wasn't going to miss a day of school.
Yeah. Well, I think my little one, that's 7, I think he's figuring out, if you're sick, you don't have to come to school. So a couple of times he's got, I don't feel so well.
He's catching on to the program.
I'm like, let me feel it. You ain't running fever. You're not throwing up. You're going to school. But, I was talking to my daughter this morning. We were talking about it. She said, he's already started that. And I was like, yeah, he has. And
catch on early.
Yeah, she and her husband, they were on the phone. They were headed to work. And she was telling me, they were kind of sharing what they used to do to try to get out of going to school. And I said, yeah, I remember one time when I didn't want to go to school and, the old mercury thermometers.
Yeah,
the glass ones.
Did you heat
I
it?
was like, listen, Mama was getting ready for work. And I thought, when she's not looking, I'm going to just put this down in her coffee to heat it up for a second. That thing went and busted in her coffee. And, of course, I had to go, don't drink that. Yeah, I had to tell her what I did. But yeah, I thought that was going to be the brightest idea, to heat that thing.
Well, I didn't know that they would bust. I'll be honest
yeah,
with
they
you.
will. They'll bust.
So, and I must ask, did this spill on into your teenage years and maybe on after that to where you might tell a little fib when you didn't want to go out on a date with somebody like, I don't feel good. I can't come tonight. Did you ever do that to get out of
I might have said every now and then, yeah.
Might.
It was mainly school. I think my 11th grade year, I did not want to go to school ever, hardly. I don't know. It was a hard year. And of course, my senior year, was just socialization fun.
But remind me, it seems like because you had to get so many credits, they changed something and you had to get all these different credits to graduate. And it seems like my senior year, I had gotten either the 21, I don't know how many it took.
What you needed.
And then you only had to take those many classes and you could leave for the day.
Yeah. We left early. That's how we were. We kind of.
Miss Socialite over here.
No, we had fun our senior year. Nothing bad or anything, but we had fun. And, but yeah, school, if I could go back now, I would love to go back.
What people don't tell you, and you're in that senior year, your 11th grade, they really don't do well explaining about what's fixing to hit you right after that.
Yeah.
It's all fun and games up until then. And then next thing you know, there's a little bitty car note or something small that you get. Next thing you know, if you don't go to work, the suck-up truck's coming.
You know that Alan Jackson song, Here in the Real World?
Yeah. Yeah. It's scary.
Yeah. The real world kind of slaps you down, when you get out.
Cowboys don't cry and heroes never die. Golly, I love that song.
Yeah. It's a good one.
It
is a good one. But anyway, do you want to mention this while we're talking about schools?
Yeah, do that.
We're talking about schools. It's going to be, let's see, West Lauderdale Elementary, Southeast Elementary, and Northeast Elementary are all taking up, Southeast Middle School, Northeast Middle School, and West Lauderdale Elementary. They're going to be taking up items to send to Houma, Louisiana. And I think we might have somebody on to talk about that maybe tomorrow. Or,
tomorrow's Friday.
Or next week or something, but we're going to have somebody in. You can bring items, and some of it, they said bottled water is one of the main things. I just want to mention this briefly today because I think she's going to go into it a little more. But we're going to post a list we'll post a list of everything that you can donate. You can take it to these schools and drop it off. But this Bayou Blue Elementary School, Bayou Blue Upper Elementary, and Bayou Blue Middle Schools, they've lost everything with the flooding and stuff. So they're going to be taking up this stuff until October the 1st. So
if you can help it anyway.
Right. It's like bottled water, face masks, paper towels, basic stuff like Germ-X and stuff. If you can donate anything would be appreciated. But But like I said, we'll post a list.
All right, we'll do that. I want to say good morning to Lori McDonald watching all the way from North Carolina this morning. I hope everything says she even competed in the Colgate showdown that we had one year.
Yes. Okay.
So, yeah. Some other folks are watching from Debbie Walker. How are you from Newton County? I hope everything's good. And we had somebody from Chucktown, don't we? I can't read that far.
Debbie Penny. Good morning from Chucktown.
Yeah. All right. Now, on to a serious subject this morning that we wanted to pass along. This has happened in our community, and we need your help. I posted this last night. Ask everybody to share this. We have a missing teenager in the area, and this is from the Bailey, Mississippi area. Her name is Elena Harding. She's 16 years old, 5'2", weighs 102 pounds, has green eyes. Now, she has some different clothing with her. So this isn't the last. She might not necessarily be wearing what she's wearing in that shirt in this scene here. She was last seen on September the 3rd. Basically went to spend the night with somebody, and they haven't seen her since. And parents are worried to death. If you know where she is, contact the Lauderdale County Sheriff's Department at the number listed below. Again, a scary thing for a parent. And they're working on this. So I hope you can help out with that. They have a
Yes. As a parent, that would be a horrible feeling.
Tugs at your heart. But again, that's the picture. We've got this posted online on the Scotty Ray's weather page and the Scotty Ray and Candace page. So either way that you could share it, get that word out. Somebody might see her somewhere at a gas station.
And I mentioned this only because it was a distinct piece of clothing that you would recognize. I think they said that she had a tie-dyed sweatshirt also. So if you see somebody in a tie-dyed sweatshirt, get a good look at them,
Yeah, because that does stick out.
Yeah, so.
And it is a little cooler, so maybe having something like that on there.
Right.
So we definitely want to help out the family as much as we can there as we go through that. Wanted to bring this up again. This is going to be, let me make sure my date is right today. Yep. This is going to be at Weidman's tonight. They're raising money for the Christian athletes, Fellowship of Christian Athletes there. Ty and Hillary Ford there work for Lauderdale and Kemper counties. They have 7 schools, and they got a dinner and a fundraiser. If you'd like to show up tonight, I believe it's 6:30. Going to be down at Weidman's, and it's great food there too if you've never been there before.
It is.
Got this in. This is going to be going on. Pretty neat little deal here. First weekend in October, and this is not that long off. The Highway 15 yard sale runs from Maben to Newton.
Okay.
So if you are a big person that loves this kind of stuff, this is your weekend.
That'd be neat. I love like flea markets, and my grandparents used to go to yard sales and stuff. When they were, retired, and they didn't, they would go to yard sales and they would pick stuff up. And if something on it needed fixing, they would fix it and they would resell it. And that's what they did.
Made a little extra money there.
Made a little extra money, and, it was fun to them. So.
Now, my first taste of yard sales was I was a kid, and we had an aunt that moved to Huntington, West Virginia, and that's what she done. And she bought just about everything for her home from yard sales.
Oh, yeah.
And I can remember my uncle standing up, and she always made him stand up and display his breeches. Stand up, Jimmy, so you show them 25-cent breeches I got you. God bless him. I know he was embarrassed. But she enjoyed it.
I mean, it's fun, and I'm all about a bargain now.
I'm about bargains, but my parents really made it to where I never... They were excessive on that kind of stuff, and it's made me kind of shy to go do things like that.
Yeah.
You don't want too much junk. Let me word it that way.
You can get too much stuff.
If you buy something, sometimes you got to get as Britt Gully would say, you got to get shed of something.
Yeah.
Kemper County word for y'all.
A lot of people do all this selling, though, selling online.
Yeah.
They post their stuff. A lot of people are doing this now. Like when their kids' clothing or their clothing, they'll sell what they have that they don't want anymore, and they'll go buy. I mean, that's a thrifty way of doing it.
Have you sold online before?
I have. I've sold some of my kids' stuff, and I don't have time to like post all that stuff and then try to find somebody to pick it up, and but it is a good idea, and I have posted like uniforms for school.
Right.
I sold those, and anything I will say, stuff I've posted is sold just like that.
Now, Angie Ray is like the perfect person to purchase off of online. She doesn't know how to post and sell things because there's more coming in here than ever goes out. I would love for it to be the other way, but no. Then she'll get into talking about me in cars. So I guess I need to back up and hush. I have issues.
Should be comment.
Oh, yeah. And I had to have a bolt, and I had a car that may have been hidden in the bushes for a year or so, and I had to drag it out because I needed a bolt on something I broke.
Oh, did you find it? Did it have it?
Yeah, it did have it. I just can't get it on there yet. I'm having. Let me show you this because I don't think everybody appreciates just how hard it is to get to something. You ever heard that old saying of if something breaks, a 20-minute project turns into 3 days? Well, I'm on day 3 of this. Look at this. This is right here. This is Dylan Ray's truck. And I was putting that on to begin with. Once I got that loose, that broke. Then that broke. And then that broke, which is the wheel bearing. Now, if we will notice, we have one bolt left. Yeah, it won't come out. So it was stripped when I got to it. And I done everything under the moon to get that out. And so I had to tear the whole truck back apart to take that off. And I'm going somewhere today to either buy that part or get somebody with a torch, because my torch couldn't get it.
Have you ever put stuff back together and you got like 2 or 3 parts left and you go...
Yeah, it don't matter. So long as it's not the front end, you're okay. That one,
I wonder where that was supposed to go. Like swing sets and stuff like that. I can remember, us putting stuff like that together.
Yeah, something like that wouldn't bother me to leave a screw out, especially desk and those things that you get. 'Cause I think they really put extra bolts in there.
Yeah.
That's what I think. Hey, I want to also mention this. This is coming up at the Shriners are going to have a magic show coming up on the 25th. Let me pull this up here. It's going to be there in Marion at, 11 o'clock on the 25th. It's free. Come on out and check it out. 3 big shows this year, one in November, one in December. But check that out. It ought to be great for the family.
Yeah, that'd be neat. My son would love that. He likes magic type stuff, tricks and all that.
Today, that's about 2 weeks out. So we're on the 25th, about 10 days or so. We'll keep reminding you all of that and get some more information on that.
Let me ask a question. LaWanda Grantham said Sweet Pea Swap is this weekend.
Okay.
My daughter asked me this morning because I've never been to the Sweet Pea Swap. Do you have to have a ticket to go to that? And if, I don't know. I thought I understood you had to have a ticket to go in the beginning of it.
You have to help out or help assemble something to get in to shop early. This is only rumors.
Shop early. That's what I thought it was, like something to do with that.
And somebody may know more than me, but you got to do something to be able to get in the door.
Okay, so you can't just go, just everybody? I thought everybody could go in and shop.
No, you're getting all complicated on me on questions that I don't know.
I just need to know.
Somebody I'm sure knows.
My daughter, she has a 1-year-old, a little over 1-year-old, and then she's expecting again in February, so we're going to have another little boy. And she just wanted to go and was wondering about it. So
if y'all know the question to her big question.
Friday morning, no ticket. Okay.
So
all right, I'll let her know.
You gonna bust up in there with her?
I don't know. I probably won't Friday. Well, on Saturday, I don't know. I probably won't get to go. That's usually how it is when it's something. That's just like the what's that place down where everybody goes? It's that flea market, Canton. I've always wanted to go to Canton, and it always sneaks up on me. And everybody goes, "We're going to Canton today." And I'm
just going to tell you this. Kurt does not want you to go to Canton. Your husband is absolutely...
He probably doesn't.
I ain't even got to talk to him. I know the answer to that.
Yeah, he's kind of banned me from Hobby Lobby, even though that didn't work. Because we are on Life 360, and he'll send me a text, "Get out of there." But anyway.
I don't think I'm on a tracking system yet. I call that, so you track him too. So he's on.
We don't track.
That is track.
But if you want to know where he's at, just pop on there. If he wants to know where I'm at, he pops on there. But I don't see anything wrong with that.
Okay. Just call her. I just call and say, "Hey, where are you? Get me something."
Well, you need Life 360. You won't have to call. And then you just send a text.
And you don't half the time carry that phone. I have broke down on the side of the road and called every phone that I'm paying for, and it's a bunch of them, and nobody answered the phone. Oh, I didn't have a phone with me.
Oh.
I'm on the side
well,
of
if
the
you
road.
broke down, just call me or call Kurt, and we'll come get you, Scotty Ray.
That has happened twice.
Yeah.
Does that not make you mad? And you're like,
It makes me mad when somebody's on the other line and don't click over. If I call, and I've called 2 or 3 times in a row, like boom, boom, boom.
Something wrong.
Answer the phone. Say, hold on just a second. I've got to click
And
over.
I may be guilty. I think you may have called me once or twice. Just saying. Let's talk about our friend Joe out of the Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville. A new day. Great sales going on this week. If you haven't been by the pig, go by and get yourself a plate lunch. Always something good. Pumpkins. They're $4.99 each if you're looking to carve or.
That's a good price, too.
And I guess people eat them, but I've just never seen anybody eat the actual pumpkin. There's always a carving that I see when people get it. But I know what happens.
Well, you can paint them, too.
Can you?
Yes. I see people paint them. And I like that better than carving them because, I mean, carving, they start to rot and, get all soft and stuff. Yeah. Murtis Rutledge used to paint. I love Mert. She used to keep my kids, at times. Yeah. And she is the best with artwork and stuff. And she would paint the neatest things on pumpkins.
So if you're into the painting the pumpkin, Joe has one for you. Yes. Now, as we get into this, potatoes here, $2.99 for the 8-pound bag there. If you're looking for fresh celery, 99 cents a stalk. You can also get the ripe tomatoes at 4-pack for $1.99 if you're whooping up a sandwich. Fresh green ones, 89 cents each with the bell peppers. Red, yellow, orange, 2 for $3. We got ketchup, a great deal on that. Also flour. You can also get cornmeal for $1 bag, the Piggly Wiggly brand. As we get into the drinking water, 3 for $10. That's a bargain. Also steaks, if you're going to be cooking, the certified Angus beef, $7.49 a pound, along with pork chops, center cut, and of course Coca-Cola products, 2 for $9. That's a few of the examples that they have right now. A whole lot more. See them at the Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville.
I spent weeks in the hospital due to a careless driver. I could no longer afford to do it alone. I knew I needed help.
I'm Mississippi Attorney Richard Schwartz. I'm proud to represent the people of the great state I call home.
I'm Michelle from Oxford, Mississippi, and it took one call, and that was all. I called my Mississippi attorney, Richard Schwartz, and he got me $287,500.
If you need me, Mississippi, remember, one call, that's all.
Okay, I got to bring up the elephant who never forgets anything. Carmen Douglas making comments about maybe a little incident that I had about 3 or 4 years ago where I turned a 4-wheeler on top of myself upside down. And I laid there for a little while because I couldn't get up.
Well, nobody was with you, right?
No, I was all by myself out in the bushes.
That was about 3 years ago because it was right after Kurt and I started. Yeah. Yeah, I remember that.
But the moral to the story is never put too much corn on the back and try to go up a hill. You have to balance your load. I did not. And it flipped over, and I really thought that when it threw me off that I'd gotten out of the way until I saw that big green thing coming at me, and it slapped me upside the head. And I'm telling you, it knocked me senseless. And then it landed on top of my leg, and I couldn't get it off, and gas, it was still running, gas was pouring down me. I thought, yeah, that'd be bad if that caught on fire there. And I had to lay there and I finally got out from underneath it and called somebody.
Yeah.
But always carry a phone with you because it's helpful.
Or a person.
It was in the middle of the day.
Yeah, I think it's always a good idea, especially to carry somebody with you when you're going to be up in the woods where anything can happen, like, and you're by yourself. So.
Oh, Carmen, now I just love her to death there. She's probably stockpiling peanut butter brittle, going to resell it here in a minute.
She said, did you just call me an elephant?
Whoops. Hope your day is going good. And we love to hear from your comments. If you've got a comment, we would love to hear from you as well this morning. Post that so we can share that with everyone else. I wanted to bring this up. Let me find this. We'll get back to the one that I was just talking about. Jeff Bridges, you know who I'm talking about. Yeah. He's been in Thunderbolt and Lightfoot. He was in there with Clint Eastwood, one of the early movies, but a big actor. He caught COVID a few weeks back. And, he's been battling cancer.
I didn't know he was battling cancer.
Yeah, and he goes on to say that the COVID made the cancer look like cake. He said it was just the differences between the two diseases, and he goes, his immune system was down because he's been taking chemo. Right. But he said the COVID was the worst thing that he's ever encountered. He's better now. He's over it. He got to give his daughter away in her wedding, but rough stuff. And I hear that from anybody who has gone through it, 2 to 3 weeks. And you really get worried now of somebody that's had this stuff 3 weeks plus. It's scary.
Well, it is scary. And the deal, like with my stepdad, I've heard over and over the same scenario where it just, just annihilated their lungs. I mean, it just like gets into your lungs and it just spreads like wildfire. And the doctor explained it. It's like it just tears the lungs up, and it's a hard thing to come back from. And it's still just so not real, because you just expect them to go in the hospital and get treated and you're going to come home, and it's just not always the case. So,
has anybody ever wanted to see the backside of Reba coming down a ladder? I have just that for you from it was posted to Twitter. Have you heard about this?
I heard where she got stranded.
Yeah.
In her apartment or something.
Well, she was in a historic building in Oklahoma City. I don't know whether she was looking at it to buy it or what the case was, but the staircase fell. So the fire department had to come save Reba. And if you hadn't seen this is the scene of the fire department on there and Reba coming down the ladder there, being saved by the guys there in Oklahoma.
If you're looking at something to buy and the staircase falls, that's probably a game changer right there for you. Yeah. I would think.
But bless her heart, you know that had to be scary. So there's old Reba. She did make it down. And they're going, I guess that's her shirt that she's fixing to get there. But Reba's okay.
That's
but
good.
I thought y'all might want to see that. So good luck to her on that.
It's a good thing she wasn't going down the staircase when it fell.
I've been in the same room with Reba. I can't say that Reba and I've ever sat down and talked, but I've been in the same room. She seems like a very sweet person, genuine.
Yeah. And there's, I would think there's only probably a handful of people like that,
No, you're right.
Left in the industry. Well, the older ones are probably like that. I think some of the newer ones, maybe not so much.
Now, I'm still hooked on the early Reba stuff. Whoever's in New England and those songs, golly, it's just someone should leave. But which one should it be? I liked all of that.
I just hate that some of the older country music singers are trying to adapt. Some of them are trying to adapt to the new country stuff because I don't know. I just don't like it.
Yeah, I mean, you both, sister. We are on agreement on something with that.
Stay genuine to what got you there in the first place.
Because I can't see that other selling that well. That's just me, though. I'm not trying to. I don't know this. I've had this a couple days, and maybe they've gotten an answer to it. I hadn't Googled to see if they have the answer to it, but it does make you sit back and you go, biblical times. Something weird's going on. We've all heard of the Dead Sea. Of course, that's mentioned in the Bible there, where Sodom and Gomorrah. The salt thing there. But the Dead Sea, look at this. This is right next to that. Let me show this picture. Let me click on it. The water has turned red. Now, do I have an answer to it? Absolutely not. But that's scary.
That is scary.
And again, at the time of this story, when it was put together, they didn't have an answer for why it was that way. Maybe in the last couple of days I've missed it and they do have an answer, but it does make you think.
And even if you tinted something, like say you think somebody might have thrown some red dye in it.
There's another shot.
Just it's not going to be like, it would still be like more transparent than what we were looking at right there,
maybe there's something in the soil that some scientists can come up with. I don't know. But I thought I'd share that with you there.
Goodness.
Do you remember this? It was tragic. A lady called, this was in Minnesota. This has been 2 or 3 years ago. A lady calls the cops because she hears a neighbor screaming. She's assuming that her neighbor is being attacked, possibly raped. The police pull up to her yard. She runs out to the car. It's in the middle of the night. She beats on the window of, "Thank God you're here." And it was a rookie cop, and he shot and killed her. And it was just horrible. She was from Australia. She was visiting the United States, and she was renting an apartment there for a little while. He shoots and kills her. He was convicted of murder, and they're going to go back and revisit this now and lessen the degree of this. There was a lot of stuff that wasn't admitted to court, and they're probably in the end going to turn him loose.
Goodness.
In light of other things of charges that have happened to other cops. I don't think this guy had been on the force but a couple of weeks or something like that, and he just didn't know what he was doing.
Yeah.
But
that's unfortunate too. That's just awful.
And that's a snapshot. Is it? We go to Daily Mail to look at
So
that.
she was screaming and ran outside, or
Well,
ran?
no, her neighbor was being attacked.
Okay.
She could hear the neighbor screaming for help. She calls 911. The cop pulls up in the yard, so she runs out of her house to meet him. And the cop
Shot
thought, he thought that she was attacking him through the window.
Oh goodness.
That's one of the worst things I've ever heard. But that happened a few years ago. 4 years ago, because he served 4 years so far. He had a 12-year sentence, and they're most likely going to drop all that. Now, let's move on let's get under some, I don't know what the word that I'm looking for here. This is wrong in so many ways. Mark Milley, this general, is everybody up on this? To where the phone call at first was allegedly made to China to block Trump from doing anything with the military. And even Trump goes, this is probably made up. Nobody would really do that. Well, the guy's admitted to it now.
And don't you think he probably admitted to it because he knows he's probably going to get away with it?
That's the way it's looking.
Who would admit to something unless somebody said, don't worry about that?
And I think that comes from the White House. This is treason. I don't care how you slice it. Even though I am not the biggest Joe Biden fan in the world, but if you've got somebody under his command and they disobey and don't do what he says or goes behind his back, that is treason. I don't care. And a lot of these people that Jen Psaki, whatever her name is, she is trying to say, well, y'all know the last few months of his presidency was bad. No, this was treason and something needs to be done. And Biden is saying it's okay.
Look,
we need somebody to step in here.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's insane to me. And I'm not trying to offend anybody on either side, Republican or Democrat, but there's a such thing as there's right and there's wrong.
Correct.
Okay. And it doesn't matter if you're Republican or Democrat, but more times than not, I see on one side when they're faced with answering questions or things that's happened or people who have done things wrong that need to be reprimanded and answer to what they've done or be fired for it, they blame it on somebody else.
A deaf ear.
Yeah, right. They turn a deaf ear to it, or they blame it on somebody else. It's somebody else's problem, or they just dance around the whole question and never answer it, ever. They always try to, deter to something else. And
this man called China, y'all. He called another foreign country and told them not to worry about that. He would not let anything happen. This is
well, he was like, if somebody's going to drop a bomb, I'll let you know beforehand.
Yeah, you
Why
don't do that.
Why would you do that?
And then he goes on to say that China's not the people we need to worry about. Russia is. Hogwash.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
We need to really watch what's going on over there.
There's got to be connections with somebody covering somebody's back from another country. You know what I'm saying? There's got to be.
I'm worried. I truly am that this would go on. And let me repeat that. Of any administration that would let this happen to another one, that's wrong.
If you got down to the nitty gritty, I bet you there's more than a handful of people that would be convicted of treason if you really researched a lot of stuff.
They talk about Trump being this and that, and no, he wasn't in his right mind. Y'all don't know what that man was fighting behind the scenes of people that were traitors.
Well, it's just like I heard this morning somebody say about, like, if Trump was president right now, this stuff wouldn't be happening. This stuff would not be happening.
No, it wouldn't. Trump went on yesterday. Here's the headline from Trump yesterday. He says, we're not going to have a country left in 3 years.
Yeah, we're not.
Trump predicts the end of America.
I mean, seriously, if things keep going, and I don't see them going in the other direction but down, if things keep going in that same direction, this is not even a year into this man's presidency, and who's behind him is not any better, if not worse.
Correct.
I feel like I don't know what's going to happen.
But I wanted to point that out just because treason is a very serious charge. Now, the man, maybe there's an explanation that we don't know. It needs to be investigated and brought before the American people so that we do know the absolute truth to what really went on.
Right.
But he did say he made the call, and that's what I'm basing my conversation on there.
Now, I did hear the other day that in one of the interviews they were doing on one of the TV networks, that the Republicans supposedly are in charge of the funding of the military, or decision making of funding of the military. So maybe that's leverage for them to try to get something done, because they're wanting him out of there. They're wanting him to answer for this. I mean, he needs to be removed. That's somebody you can't trust. You cannot trust him. So, you know, and me being a mother of somebody who's just joined the military, it's not that branch, you know, but still,
anybody that serves, we're worried about. And here's another headline. The ex-PM to Australia says if the United States, and get this is really hits home, and Washington doesn't want to hear this. Mm-hmm. He says if America can't handle the Taliban in a pickup truck, what would they do against somebody like China? That's pretty, really puts it into perspective there. They're running all over us. Mm-hmm. It was a botched thing, and I'll leave it alone. But that's our thoughts on that this morning of what's out there, just so you know what's headlines across America.
And two, you know, they've been buying up land in our country for a long time now.
They have been.
And why are people selling out to them? I know money talks, but you know what? There's also a certain thing of, you know, you can sell your soul to the devil too.
Yes, you can.
So I feel like that's
careful at that crossroads in life. That's definitely something to think about. As we look at America, you go to Manhattan. Manhattan is probably one of the more upscale places anywhere you'll go. Mm-hmm. A robbery took place. Now, again, you didn't have this kind of crime a year or so ago.
Yeah.
But they were, you know, these outside diners. Somebody comes up, tries to rob everybody there of their wallet, their jewelry, and a guy steps up, tries to stop it, he gets shot in the leg. Right. Manhattan. Mm-hmm. Watch where you go on vacation, y'all.
Yeah, I would watch anywhere you go on vacation, because, you know, there's bad people everywhere. So.
It is. And speaking of bad people, I'll go ahead and throw this one out there just so you know. Mm-hmm. In Michigan, they've got a state representative named Jewel Jones. He was arrested for DUI and several other charges. He was in jail. Well, they done a jail cell search, and guess what he had? He had him keys and handcuffs. So things just keep getting worse and worse, and they're asking for him to resign. He's not. I doubt he ever will. Y'all know how that works on people that the whiner, the wiener, whatever his name was.
Oh yeah.
They don't step away. As you look at the governor Kuma, he didn't give in.
Well, look at Bill Clinton.
Yeah.
I mean, you know.
But that's what's so scary is of who people are electing to office. Your vote counts. Make sure, no matter where you're watching me from, whether it's Colorado, if you're watching from any other state, careful who you vote for, because make sure they got their head screwed on and that their values are what you share. Now, whatever your values are that's important to you, vote for that person. People like that kind of scare me. They're people that just really don't need to be there.
Yeah.
That's my thoughts on what's going on there. Today, let me bring this up also. Do you remember the South Carolina lawyer?
Yeah.
Who's in all kinds of deep stuff. I'll word it that way. His wife and one of his kids were murdered. He then hired someone to kill him for insurance so his other child would get it.
But it didn't work.
It didn't work out. He's turning himself into the police today. So just so you know. And his family are probably going to press charges against him for stealing, embezzling within their own company there. That's a few of the things that are stirring this morning. On a local level, see if everybody knows where this is. You're coming from Meridian High School. Up the road, there's 23rd Avenue. You come to the stop sign. It's a store that's out of business. I think it used to be, what, Little People?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I guess they're out of business. I don't know.
I don't see any activity there ever.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that.
But if you will look at it, there's a hole in the wall this morning. There was a car chase, and they might have ran through the building.
That's not the first time their building's been ran through.
Oh, has it?
No, it's not. It's just in a bad spot right there.
Dead end road.
Somebody runs that stop sign. They don't have very far to go to hit the building. So, yeah. So
if you notice a little damage there this morning as you're passing through, that's what went on there.
Yeah.
Let's see. A special election is coming to the state of Mississippi. Samson Jackson retired, and on November the 2nd, there's going to be a special election. There'll be 3 seats up for election. That's going to be District 32 Senate seat, also State Senate District 38, and State House Representative District 29 will be on the ballot come November the 2nd. So just sometimes these elections slip up on you. You don't even realize that they were going to happen, especially a special election. They said Little People is still open. I didn't realize that. It's just I hadn't called anybody when I passed by. So they've got damage to their store. My apologies on that. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I thought they were still open. That's what I thought they were. I haven't been in a while, so I'm not sure.
So, but hate that happened to their store.
Yes.
That would have to be scary. And you see a lot of that. That was a car chase, but restaurants and things were, especially, and I'm not trying to blame elderly, so y'all don't, but a lot of times people will get gas and the brake confused when they're sitting in front of a business and the car goes through the business. That happened at the post office in Scuba one time.
Really?
Yeah. Ran right over the tomatoes and right into the building. Only post office I'd ever seen that had tomatoes growing out front. That was a few years ago.
Yeah.
But I ain't never seen that before.
Or, like when you're putting your car in drive or reverse or whatever, you think you got it in drive and you got it in reverse. And you get gas. That could happen.
My mother-in-law might have done that on a golf cart last weekend.
Really?
Just say it. She did stop it in time, but it panicked her. I saw the fear up in her eyes. That's a few of the things there this morning. Let's see here. Let's talk about our friends at Snowden Company. They got a lot going on. If you haven't visited with them, when it comes time to purchase a home or sell a home, talk to them. Amanda will really help you there. They've got a lot going on there. 453-3937 is that number to call when it comes time to do this. Now, you can visit them online, and you're going to see all types of homes. When it's time to sell, you call them. As we get into this, their extraordinary marketing strategy, they've got exposure for you, professionally quality photos that make people want to look at your home.
Right.
Because if you got a bad picture, ain't nobody going to want to come look at your stuff.
I know.
And they know what to put there. SnowdenRealEstate.com. Here's a home that's up for sale. Now, again, they take care of Lauderdale, Kemper, Newton, Neshoba, Clark. Also expanded as they go over now to Brandon, Flowood, Madison. Really neat there. And as we look at this, by appointment on Saturday, closed on Sunday, but they'll be there Monday through Friday and through to tomorrow night until 5 o'clock. Here's a new listing that they just posted. If you're looking for a home, that's pretty. Also, here's another one that has just been put on the market. A few of the things that you can see there. Some folks that sold their home, call them, 453-3937. This is Amanda. Her and her friendly staff will help you any way they can. Again, Sim, Snowden Company Real Estate, there for you, whether it's time to buy or sell, they'll help you.
Making my way back home from the grocery store, I was struck by an 18-wheeler. It was horrible. My life changed in an instant, and I discovered I needed help.
I'm Mississippi Attorney Richard Schwartz. I'm proud to represent the people of the great state I call home.
Hurricane season is here, and like most Mississippians, you know the drill. Organize a severe weather safety kit, know how to safely use a generator, and have a plan of action to keep your family safe if a hurricane threatens. And when outages do occur, you can now report and view current outages through our free smartphone app or website at emepa.com. Remember, when storms come in, be ready if the power goes out. East Mississippi Electric Power Association is your local Touchstone Energy cooperative.
And we do appreciate all the comments everybody put in. We do appreciate it. If you hadn't joined in, do so. We love to hear what your thoughts are this morning on the subject we were talking about. As we go back and look at a few things on history, I like to do this each day. It was 1620. Y'all saw this a second ago. The Mayflower set sail. Now, so far, it hadn't been deemed that we can't talk about the Mayflower. But the day is young. Somebody may find out something bad about the Mayflower, and we may not be able to talk about it anymore.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll probably... ban any kind of history.
In 1925, one of Mississippi's brightest stars that was ever born to our state was born on this date. B.B. King was born. A legend, without a doubt. Him and Lucille sitting there. Had a chance to meet him at the Silver Star umpteen dozen years ago. Nice guy. One of my favorite country acts that ever come along was the Bellamy Brothers. And, well, David Bellamy is celebrating a birthday. And you go, well, who is who? Howard and David. This is David here on the right.
Okay.
A lot of people just know him from Let Your Love Flow. Not one of my favorites, although that was a huge hit. I was more into, if I said you had a beautiful body, would you hold it against me? Gosh, that was clever. I'd lie to you for your love. Y'all remember that? And, of course, the big one that most what I'll call Southerners remember was Give Me a Redneck Girl. She got her name on the back of her belt.
Oh, yeah.
Love that song. But
those are all good ones, though. I mean,
they were very, very talented. Still out there touring. I saw them with Lee Greenwood the other night.
Okay.
as we talk about the magic show that's coming up with the Shriners here, this is probably one of the most well-known magicians. I remember as a kid watching him make the Statue of Liberty disappear. Now, I don't think that really happened or how he done it. I guess it was a camera trick.
I would love to see how they do things like that, though, you know.
Yeah.
Know the secrets.
With, you know, the coffin thing. Got David Copperfield having a birthday today. I think, you know, where they put down the slides where it's supposed to cut you in half. You pull your feet up and you get away from it. Houdini was probably the first one that actually done his own stuff there.
I don't know. David Copperfield's always looked odd to me.
As in which way?
I don't know. He just
like you don't trust him.
In that picture, just that looking at you like.
Are you thinking evil?
Yeah, just that kind of
spooky.
Yeah, kind of spooky look.
Okay, now he knows what goes through her head over here. He is mysterious. That is without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah.
There's two old boys, and maybe they had a TV show to where they would do the trick and then explain it. One of them had long hair with a ponytail, and the other one was a little short guy.
I can't think of the name of them though.
They had a double name there, but I cannot for the life of me think of what their names were. But they would explain some of their tricks. Pretty clever stuff that they did.
Yeah, that is neat when they can explain it and you can, that's how they do that.
And I'm very bad at card tricks, by the way. I can't do those either. 1969, you woke up and, well, Johnny Cash had the #1 song on this date, A Boy Named Sue.
We heard this the other night and Alden started laughing. He was really laughing about it. He said, he named him Sue.
How do you do? Now you're going to die.
Yeah.
It was great. Johnny Cash at his best, but it's so hard to believe that was 1969, 53 years ago.
And if you don't know, the reason his daddy named him Sue was to make him tough.
Yeah, because he left him with his mama. He said, they had to get tough or die.
Yeah.
And that would be tough on a boy.
Yeah. Yeah. He said, I knew if I named you Sue, you was going to, fight back if somebody... It'd make you a tough guy.
You cut a piece of my ear off. If you've never heard it, look that up today.
Yeah.
You can find that on YouTube anyway.
Penn and Teller.
Penn and Teller, that's who it was?
Yeah, that's the magicians who did the tricks and then explained. Yeah,
they're pretty good. They had a TV show there for a while. I kind of enjoyed it. And I think their beliefs are a little bit different than mine, but they are good at magic tricks.
Yeah, thank you, Kay Sosby and Debbie Molds.
And, a lot of times, like you go to New Orleans or a town like that, people are on the street doing those tricks.
Yeah, you see everything in New Orleans now.
I know.
You might even see a statue, like 1 minute look at it and it's like this, and the next minute look at it and it's like this, because it's a person painted to look like a statue. Have you ever seen that?
Yeah, I've seen that.
That is freaky now. Because they look just like a statue.
They paint them. I couldn't do all that.
That's scary to me. Like, I'll never forget when I saw that the first time.
Was it the naked cowboy that you saw first like that?
I didn't see the naked cowboy.
Have you ever bumped into him?
No, have not.
Okay.
No.
Every now and then,
don't want to.
He gets arrested again for something. But him and his whitey tighties there across New York.
I do remember the statue thing, though, and I remember a guy doing tricks on the side of the road. There's a mime down there at one time, and then there was a little, looked to be about 7-year-old kid tap dancing for money on the side of the road. That was sad to me.
I got one last question about the naked cowboy, because I don't understand it. Maybe he has a guitar. Where does he put his tips? Because he ain't got no pockets. Where's it? People money. Where does he put that?
I don't know.
I thought you might know.
There's only a couple places.
Maybe he does have a guitar case that you chunk the money in. I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
And that's all I'm going to say about all that. We're going to move on now.
Yeah. Does he have a hat? Maybe he puts it under his hat.
He's got a hat.
Okay, maybe
that's about all he's got.
Maybe he pulled that cowboy hat off, all the money falls.
Oh, yes, they call him the Streak.
Yeah.
I love that song. I bring this up because I just barely remember this as a kid. I remember watching it going, wow, look at Washington. It was a different type of show. It was sci-fi, and I saw it for just a moment. This premiered on that day, Logan's Run. I don't know if anybody remembers that or not. Okay, that's enough time spent on that.
Yeah, I'm not a big sci-fi person, though. So.
But, just barely do I remember seeing 1 or 2 episodes. Farrah Fawcett was a guest on it once. Maybe that's why I remember it. I was a big fan of her in that poster.
Farrah?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think everybody probably had that. Young kids, young guys.
People
back
that are
then,
maybe close in their 40s still have it. 1979, I don't know if y'all remember this or not, but this was the #1 song, and it was different. The first time I think America really heard rap and didn't know it was rap. It was called Rapper's Delight. the Sugar Hill Gang. I should have played that for you this morning to go back. I remember in 4th grade, all the other kids singing it and me going, what's wrong with y'all?
I think I remember him playing that at the skating rink. I didn't know who sung it, but if you know the song, I said a hip, hop, a hip to the hippity hip.
So you do know it.
Yeah, y'all know that song. I mean, you know.
You know any more of it?
Probably. I'm not singing it though, no.
But I just remember a kid bringing bubble gum to school, and he loved it. It was different. It wasn't my style, but she knows it from skating days.
It was
Look at there.
the skating rink days.
I never dressed like this, and this was a thing throughout Northeast High School as a kid that everybody wanted to dress like these two.
Yeah.
It wasn't my take.
Yeah.
This premiered on this date, 1984. Can you believe that?
Yeah, I know. I mean, but even the girls wore blazers back
Did
then. I might have had a red blazer that I wore with, yeah. I
didn't know that.
I did.
Huh.
A red one, and I think I had a.
What were their character names? Do you even remember that? Because I didn't. I never.
I don't remember that.
Back in the day, you know, it was hard to get NBC because you had to have the antenna. Because we lived so far out in the sticks, we really couldn't get the channel. Is why I probably never watched it. But I don't know their character's name because I never watched it. Crockett, is that right? Maybe.
I can't remember.
Maybe y'all know. Anyway, all right, the next thing that happened on this, 1993, the #1 song, and I knew this one well, A Lot About Living and a Little About Love. Alan Jackson was #1 with that song on this date back in 93. Let's see. Also, 1993, and I have to say, and they're doing a reboot of this show. This premiered on this date, Frasier.
The dad has passed away, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
And Eddie has passed away, which was the dog. I really like the dog.
That's, that is when the Jack Russell, people wanted Jack Russell dogs back then. Do you remember that? We raised them back then. And,
didn't realize that.
We did. But everybody wanted the little brown and white Jack Russell dogs. They were a big hit. Kind of like the Labradoodles are now, but. Yeah.
Thank you to Connie Johns, Tubbs, and Crockett. So I was semi-close there in Miami Vice. Okay, and let me ask this because I just went blank on this. Let's pull her picture back up. His assistant, what was her name on the show?
Roz. Wasn't it Roz?
That was it? That was it?
Yeah. And then Frasier and the other guy, Niles. Yeah.
Niles.
They were brothers on the show, but they look so much alike.
They do. They got little beady eyes right there.
Yeah, they do favor. A good bit.
And then I don't remember her name, but hot chick that Niles had the hankering for.
I can't remember her name. I'll think of it.
It'll hit us later.
Yeah.
But a pretty good show. Who remembers the song Daphne?
I'm sorry.
That's it.
I have to say, if I blurt stuff out, I have to say it when I think it, because if I don't, I won't
forget it again.
Yeah. Bye.
Who remembers the song Purple People Eater?
I do.
You remember that? Well, the guy that wrote it passed away on this day. Sheb Woolley. He was also in the TV show Rawhide.
Okay.
In case you didn't know that. The Purple People Eater.
One-eyed, one-horned, flying purple people eater.
I am so shocked you remembered that. I could not have done that. I don't know any of the words.
That's the only part of it I remember.
Huh.
Yeah.
And lastly, as we look at things that went on this date, it was 2002 that Dr. Phil came into your lives thanks to Oprah. She produced him, made him what he is, and he's made millions since then.
I thought I read where he was going through a divorce, but I
think you're right.
I think he is.
I wonder if he counseled himself.
I don't know, but I bet he's paying a big chunk.
Ooh, I bet that one's scary what that's going to end up costing him. But good luck to him. It's bad when Dr. Phil ends up getting a divorce. Yeah, you just don't see it coming.
Yeah.
Anyway, thought I'd share that with you.
I don't know that I could live with him.
Always giving you advice?
I mean, he just seems real, what do you call it?
What's the word? Give it to me.
Dominating, just,
he's enlarged and in charge.
He'd have to probably run everything, I don't know that I would.
I can see somebody trying to tell you something could go south quick. Anybody else picking up on this?
Look, I'm open to suggestions, but I don't like being told.
Most women don't.
You're gonna do this, or you're gonna. Because I don't do that. I don't tell somebody you're gonna do this, you're gonna do that. I mean, I just But he seems like he would be that type, you know. I don't know.
There's
Maybe I'm wrong.
nothing
I might be
worse,
wrong.
though, than being under like a sink or something. You go, hey, hand me a such and such. So you have to crawl out and somebody going, not till you ask me.
Oh, really?
That's,
Say please.
it's like, hand me the tool now. I got to have it. I ain't crawling out from underneath here.
Is that a demand? I'm
And
sorry.
nowadays, it's very hard to climb under things.
Yeah.
Golly, don't try that at home.
Goodness.
Let's talk about our friend Chet. If you've got a car, at some point in your life, you're going to have some damage to it. You want it put back to the way it was, whether it's a classic or if it's a brand new car. Located out on Highway 495 here in the Center Hill area, and they really, really do professional work here. Chet and them take pride on this. Why? Because they want you to come back the next time you have an incident, and they want you to tell your friends about them.
That's right.
And that's what really works is word of mouth. You're not going to find bad words on Chet because he does do a great job. Whether you've done a fender bender here to your door, slapped it against the other side of it, backing up, not paying attention, it happens. Or maybe a buggy ran over it, a four-wheeler took it off. That happens. Also, a front end has damage, whether it's on a truck or car. If you've got damage to your bed, they take care of those aluminum beds and also these front ends on trucks. There's a lot of things that happen just accidentally. Get yours fixed and put back right. Your car costs too much money to have it not looking right the entire time you own it. Classics, as I mentioned, there's their paint booth. You'll find this and so much more at Chet's Paint Booth. Right there. Chet's Paint and Body, you'll find them there in Center Hill. They'll process all that insurance work for you, save you the trouble. You just drop off your car, and they'll call and let you know in a timely manner when it's ready to come back and get it.
They also work with the rental car companies, so it makes it an easy process for you.
It's quick. It's easy. See them today. Again, that's Chet's Paint and Body.
I'm Kim from Tupelo, Mississippi, and it took one call and that was all. I called my Mississippi attorney, Richard Schwartz, and he got me $335,000.
If you need me, Mississippi, remember, one call, that's all.
And welcome back with Scotty Ray and Candace as we talk about the next thing you got to have today, and that's gas. Maple's one-stop shop. They're located all across town, 4 locations to help you out there. We've talked about this also to where if you buy gas, $50 fuel card, they give it away weekly. Write your name and number on it, give it to the attendant inside, and they drop it in for the drawing. They'll call you if you win.
$50 worth of gas. That's a big thing.
It is. Now, one of the newest things that they've added, and maybe you're into this, you like this coffee stuff here, the cold coffee machine. It comes with caramel, French vanilla, mocha, and it's located there at the Broadmoor Chevron on top of the hill there. You can't miss that. Also, another neat thing is they've started the loyalty coffee program. If you get coffee and you've got a bad habit like I do, you can't live without it, you run in, you do this and your 6th cup will be free. They'll punch the card for you each time you come in. So check that out. That's pretty good there. If you like coffee.
I know, and with the weather cooling off, a lot of people drink it all day long, you know.
That's
they will.
correct. So again, the Loyalty Coffee Program, they'll help you out with that, cold drinks and a whole lot more. If you're needing pizza, they've got a great deal there for pizza, a bag of chips, also a fountain drink, all for $4.99, bait shops, they've got lottery tickets, anything that you may be looking for at a convenience store. 4 locations, Bonita Chevron, Pine Springs Country Store, or the Last Chance Tobacco on 493 and Broadmoor Chevron. See them at Maple's One Stop Shop. Good folks there. They'll really help you out there. Let's see, we're coming up, we got about 8 minutes before the top of the hour, and a few more stories. I don't know where I've had this a couple of 3 days, and we hadn't brought it up, but I thought I'd share this, where some of the FDA, not everybody's in agreement on it, but they're saying 18 of the FDA senior officials say that they have no evidence that if you're already fully vaccinated that you may need that second booster shot. That's early things, but there's talk about it. There'll be more about this comes out over the next little bit.
Right.
As it comes available, we'll share that with you.
I don't understand how they determine that. If you don't know how long the vaccines are going to last, they could last, you know, more than 6 months or a year. I mean, they don't know for sure. So why would you be? Because, I mean, I would think that if people are enforcing that you get the vaccine and be fully vaccinated, companies to keep your job, don't you see them enforcing that you have to get a booster too?
I can see that coming. I do.
And I don't agree with that. I don't agree with the forcing you at all, but I definitely don't, because I don't intend on getting a booster. I'm just gonna put that
It's
out
up to
there.
you. And let me ask your opinion on this. Now, I did not find this tasteless at all. This was in Indiana in a parade on 9/11. I saw this as a reminder of what happened to our country and what could happen to our country. Daily Mail ran this, and it's a float. And there was a lot of people saying this was tasteless and the man shouldn't have done it. But I didn't look at it. Am I looking at this wrong? Let me show you the picture here. This was the Twin Towers showing that they had been hit. And it has the names there in the middle of everyone who lost their life. Is that tasteless? Am I not looking at it right?
I probably would not have put the holes with the smoke coming out and all that stuff. I probably wouldn't have done that. I think just the 2 towers with the names would have been sufficient.
But to me, it shows what they will do to our country.
Right. It does. It does. I mean, either way, I guess. But I probably wouldn't have put the holes.
Okay.
Well. But anyway, because we all know what happened and it was a tragic thing. But whatever, to each his own.
But he's getting ate up a lot online there. That guy that done that. It's for your choice. I just didn't see it all that bad.
Yeah.
In Florida, they found you know how you're walking down the street. And they have the drains below. A guy hears somebody and he looks down. And it's a naked woman tied up with her hands behind her back, dumped in there. Cops were called. She was saved. She's okay.
Yes.
We haven't gotten the details of who dumped her in there. So if you do hear something, always look around, see what you see. It saved her life.
Oh yeah, thank goodness somebody heard her.
That's really bad there. Let's see some other stories that are Wisconsin. 4 people were shot, left in a cornfield. There's a lot more to that story than they have released on it. The father says they were of one of the victims that they were at a club, but they were found in a cornfield. 4 of them in a car, all shot. Tragedy, what happens across our nation, and you don't know what.
And there is such bad things that happen everywhere. And talking about, I don't know. I worry about my children all the time, being on their own. And I guess you never stop worrying as a parent because there are crazies everywhere.
And speaking of crazy, it leads to our next one. New York is where this is. Say you get mad, maybe you're dating somebody, and you get a little mad at them. You see them walking down the street and you think, yeah, payback. And you try to run at them with your car. They jumped the curb and ran over a 70-year-old lady, killed her instantly, trying to scare the person they were angry with. That turned out just horrible. But I thought I'd pass that along also.
Awful.
As we look at, let me see here. The hula hoop girl, we got just enough time to get this in. The world champion hula hoop, I think, let me say this right. Yeah. The world champion hula hoop woman who does this was, I guess, working out in a public park on some monkey bars. Let me show you the picture here. This is her right here. She's hanging upside down. This woman here, and I won't show the video because it's some language, but this woman jumps all over her because when she's hanging upside down, her sports bra flashes. And it really doesn't show anything. A sports bra is a sports bra. It looks just like a shirt.
I mean, people walk around in worse things in public every day.
But that woman ripped her for everything she had in her and wouldn't let up. I mean, just screaming at her.
Yeah.
And that's not the polite thing to do in life.
Yeah.
Walk by a beach, lady, and see what you see. Go to Walmart on a Saturday night and see what you see.
They said a Karen walked up to her. They've named people. Karen. I don't know why they come up with the name Karen, because I hate it for people who actually are Karen.
Right.
Named, I think we need to come up with a new name for these crazies.
And it goes back. What's that lady, her real name? Karen, that was in that park there, called the dog. That's where it all came from in New York in the park. The guy with the dog, she called the cops. I guess her real name was Karen, and they've labeled everybody after that, I think.
Might want to call them AOC.
That might be so. Quickly, an animal rescuer. This was in Florida. People do care about animals, and they see animals that are hurt, and they pick them up that are neglected. This lady got in trouble because she had collected 50, and then she wasn't able to help them. She meant well, but she's in all kinds of trouble because she couldn't take care of what she picked up.
Well, because as you know, cats multiply.
Over and over.
Yeah.
But that happened in Florida. So if you help something, make sure that you can help it and not endanger it anymore. Is the moral of that story.
Right.
We again want to say thank y'all. This has been the fastest hour of our life today. It has flown. And here we are again where we have to say goodbye for the day.
Yes.
I'm going to get you one of those Mr. Rogers sweaters when we leave, and you can... Okay, maybe you don't want to do it.
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood where I can go change.
Yeah.
Put my new shoes on and all that kind of stuff.
We're going to try that.
Yeah. Y'all have a good day. See you back in the morning.
Scotty Ray's Weather is brought to you by